night of the 3rd, my understanding was that Bob 7 was fired. This is them setting up the conversation. Melina's concerned that if Bob 7 has time to prepare, that he's going to spit up more lies. However, they have the conversation. After the conversation, Austin says, thank you, I'll be handling it. Melina says, what do you think you'll do? Austin says, I'm going to have to let him go. I'll call you guys out. This was on the night of the 3rd. I thought that Bob 7 already lost his job. Me going public was not a goal to crush him. Was not a goal to get rid of his employment. It wasn't a goal to cancel him. I didn't bring up any of these initial sexual assault allegations or the nude leaking, and I didn't bring up anything related to his job. I just brought up social shit that he fucking made. And you know what? Truly, on that first day, I didn't really care that much. I just wanted to stop people from talking shit about it. But now I care. Destiny has gone live. At this point, now, we're almost to the end of the time. Now that I've shown you logs, audio clips, parts of the story, maybe you can empathize with my mind a little bit more, okay? For why I decided to stream. Why did you stream, Destiny? At this point, I'm getting information that Bob 7 has not only spoken about a ton of negative personal information with my fiancée, Melina, my ex-girlfriend and one of my closest friends, Arison, a new but close friend I've made, Bose, and one of my closest stream friends, Pichachu. I also find out that he is sharing lies about me concerning Bella with Pichachu, Melina, Bose, Ophelia, and Redacted One. 2 of these people aren't even people that I'm really friends with. My understanding is that Bob 7 has already been let go by Austin from his job. I've already seen that message. So the only potential damage that could happen at this point is social damage. I feel as though a lot of my social life, both what I can see and most likely what I cannot see, is under attack due to both malicious and false claims Bob 7 is spreading. So I decided to have a stream where I spill out everything Bob 7 has done in order to establish a public record that he is both not credible and sleazy. I allude to larger allegations in this video, those allegations being the pressuring of Ophelia to allow him to fly to Canada and fuck Pichachu and her to the guise of being drunk while simultaneously shit-talking her behind her back, and the screen sharing of nude pictures of Melina and Redacted One to Bose while also shitting on Melina and Bose. But I decided not to share these things because my main issue with him is not employment-related, but rather socially related. I also wanted to avoid dragging the girls involved in this, and I didn't honestly think he tried to defend himself publicly when the things he'd done wrong are so clearly laid out. I fucked up when I made the vague nuke things. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned those at all, and I should have just let him walk into it and then fucking dropped it. I really didn't think he would have the confidence, the audacity, to put together some haphazard, year 1, shit-ass 39-page doc with 500 fucking pictures in it to try to make some bullshit story up that I can so clearly disprove with a handful of screenshots of audio recordings. I take responsible for the vagueness of my initial threat, but I do believe that these are relatively life-destroying revelations, given that he is literally pressuring young girls that are going on to fucking Austin's show for nudes, telling him that he's going to fly out and fuck them. Well, I don't know if he needs them, other people for nudes, telling them that he's going to fly out and fuck other streamers and them, all while being a producer of Austin's show, and then also the screen sharing of other news to other girls. Now, we haven't gotten very specifically into those 2 things yet. We're not going through the document. We can substantiate anything. I shouldn't say that. I have laid out my entire timeline. This, so far, absent this, is what my first stream should have been. Possible that after I did this in my first stream, maybe Bob 7 would have fucked off and crawled away, or slithered away more accurately, like a little sneak fuck he is. But maybe I was a little too vague, maybe I was a little bit too confident in myself, maybe I overestimated Bob 7's intelligence in assuming there's no motherfuckers going to come back, right? On me publicly. Figured he'd already lost his job, so no amount of like me blowing him up on fucking social media or on Twitch is gonna like have any negative impacts on him. This so far should have been my first stream, okay? This is up here so far is the New Testament Destiny, okay? This is the one that doesn't care. Now we're going to get into more of the serious allegations, okay? Sins of the father, words that kill. I've done my original timeline. Now we're going to talk about the specific flaws that I think Bob 7 has committed, and we'll see. It'll be up to you to figure out if I've adequately demonstrated those flaws. Betrayal 1. Melina. One of the first social sins committed in this ordeal, the breaking of trust between Bob 7 and Melina. Melina confided in Bob 7 a great deal, both about personal problems related to our relationship and, by extension of that, personal stories related to me. Bob 7 took it upon himself to divulge almost every secret or personal story Melina had shared with him through the crush, Bose, who ostensibly hated Melina due to Bob 7's conversations. It was incredibly inappropriate of him to breach her trust in order to win the affections of a new girl. While no one external to my personal circle of friends will or should care much about this particular breach of trust, it's something that greatly troubles me, and I feel her suffering is worth mentioning in this, especially given the great deal of personal messages that Bob 7 chose to release without consulting her first. He seems to never care when being confronted about sharing the logs with others, and admits to it as much as he has lost faith in her as a human. It's worth noting how difficult it was in the past to get logs from Bob 7 because even when Melina and him were on good terms, he constantly expressed worry or fear about sharing logs with others. I didn't get a log of that if he denies having fun. But Bob 7, when I was doing my initial investigation of who was lying on the Bob 7 is constantly saying, he's like, I never share logs. I don't get to share logs with anybody. I'll never share logs with you.
But still, like, you're just like doing it without even asking about it. And you're always thinking, oh yeah, I have to ask about actually logs like that. And I know that you share so much without asking. Yeah, why do you do that? What about sharing logs with others? What about that? Yeah, what about that? Okay. But do you understand that if you're doing these things so incredibly easy, do you think that that makes me think, wait a minute, I wonder how many people have some really crazy. You understand why that maybe makes me think a little bit?
Again, establishing the same kind of pattern of easily fucked ways that the folks do. This sin is whatever. I'm including it here because I love Melina, and because one of the troubling things for me is that for the past month, she's been incredibly distraught over this because she considered Bob 7 her best friend, and he's basically just completely discarded her. If for no other reason, I feel like her family should be included on this because God damn it, she got fucked hard about this. And the climax of this, Bob 7 basically dumps hundreds of fucking screenshots of incredibly intimate conversations that she had with somebody that she thought she could trust. So it's not really a big oh, he should be canceled or this, he should be this. It's something that I'm going to bring up now that we're talking about it. Screen sharing of nudes. On the night of November 15th, Melina and Redacted One in a personal call with Bob 7. During this call, Bob 7 pressured Redacted One while she was on video to post nude pictures of herself, despite her not being comfortable posting pictures of this nature. After the conversation, Bob 7 hops into a call with Bose, where he screen shares the conversation and reveals the nude pictures posted in the call. Bose later reveals to Melina in their conversation on January 2nd that she saw both the conversation and the nude pictures posted, and further provides an explicit detail of the nude pictures from a later conversation on the 3rd with Austin listened to. Checking through Bose's call history with